Get my agendas here ready to go. Okay, Rochelle, I guess we can start the tape. Oh, we got Melissa with us this morning. Hi, Melissa.
Morning.
Melissa, we do have a quorum in case you have to step out, just so you know.
I do. Thank you.
Give you that heads up. Okay. So, Rochelle, we're going to go ahead and start the meeting.
Yep, we're all set.
Okay. Great. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Plumbing Piping Work Examining Board meeting of July 23rd already, 2026. This time I'd like the board to review the minutes of our April 23rd, 2026 meeting. If there are any changes or deviations, I'd accept a motion to accept the minutes as written.
I'll make a motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. All in favor of accepting the minutes of the April 23rd meeting, say aye.
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 Okay. Noes? Abstentions? Okay, so moved. Great. Thank you, everybody. Right. And now we are on to the agenda. At the beginning of this meeting, I just wanted to share how proud I am of a young individual in the state of Connecticut that's going to be representing Skills USA, has won, and he's going to go to Shanghai. And his name is Charles Godey. He's from Waterford, Connecticut. He was a proud graduate of the class of 2024 from the Groton Southeastern Tech program. I've had a chance to talk. I was invited by Vinny and the local to the apprenticeship meeting back in about a month and a half ago, where I had a chance to meet him, get a picture with him, and explain to him how proud I was of him getting that feat, because that's tough to be number one in Connecticut, but then to come out and become number one in the country, and then be honored to go to Shanghai to represent all plumbers in the United States of America is huge. That's Vinny, if you don't mind, maybe Jay, Pete, Kimberly, if she's here, to share a few thoughts and things about how difficult it is for Charles to have got where he had to go, the route he followed. And, I think, well, if it's okay with you, Jay, I'll start with Vinny on that.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, one sec. I just dragged him out of the dojo for a second, make sure he can fact check me. So yeah, Charles is a Votech graduate that entered our program, and the process was, here at our school. Actually, I'm sitting on the plumbing platforms down the row here. This is where we host the Skills USA for Connecticut for the welders, HVAC, and plumbers. So the local sponsors that each year. Charlie came here. He was a young man with a mullet. I don't even remember, because he was one kid amongst many, and he did a super great job. He went on to the Skills USA and placed very well. And then they took the top 3 candidates, the IAPMO organization, International Association of Plumbing Mechanical Officials, the PHCC, the UA, and of course, Weld Skills. They all interviewed him, and they chose Charlie. We're very proud of him here at the local, and he's done a great job as an apprentice, but we try not to get lost that he's representing the United States. This is the Olympics of the skills trades. And so we're trying to get him in, familiarize him with especially the metric system. Whenever he goes there, everything's measured in metrics, all his datum lines. He's had some opportunity. He went to the Austrian Skills National Competition to get experience there. And recently at the World Plumbing Council in Birmingham, UK, they had a training exercise there too. So he's progressing. September, he's going to go to Shanghai. He's going to represent us very well. And here's Charlie here. So, go to the source. That's the kid.
Keep going, everybody.
How you doing, Charlie? You're talking
doing
to,
great.
you're talking to the entire plumbing board here this morning. I want to share how proud I am and the board of you and your accomplishments following the rules in Connecticut, all the way from the beginning of your apprenticeship, your training at Groton Southeastern Tech. I was sharing with Vinny years ago when you called me originally for advice. I didn't even know who you were until you called me or saw me at the local 777 there about 6-7 weeks ago, that you had reached out to me for advice, and I was very proud that you had accomplished everything you had. So I had to kind of bring you to the forefront today because we'll always have your back as you follow the rules, okay? And you're with a great bunch of people. I know you got a great job going with the local, with the contractor here in Connecticut. And we're going to be asking and following your path throughout your career. As you know, I told you that a long time ago, and you're going to bring home the win. Okay, this is huge. It is the Olympics. Don't be nervous. You got this. Just do what you were trained to do, and we know you're going to get through this and bring home the W.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Charlie.
Get back to work.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
See you later.
Listen to you, Vinny. Get back to work. You're tough. All right.
Serious
we're gonna
business.
move on. Yeah, exactly. You're right. Well, I'm going to, with all the board's approvals here, I just want to, members, I want to skip over the old business piece just shortly so we can bring on Pam Brown to introduce to us what we've always been wanting to see is more inspectors with the state. And also a new supervisor. And at this point, I'm going to let Pam do all the talking. Pam.
Okay, won't be very long. I appreciate you moving me up ahead. And I'd like to introduce the two, new supervisor who's been with us for a while now, and then also a new inspector, because they happen to be out in the field working on an investigation. So thank you for taking us ahead of time. So we have with us, they're both on the same laptop, so they're in the same frame. We have Ernest Thigpen, who's been with us for a while now. We grabbed him from the Hartford Fire Department, and he's been amazing working with us, developing and continuing on with our criminal program. He has just recently been promoted to supervising special investigator. And we have beside him is Doug Lennington. And Doug is just about maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks with us. He came from the Home Builders Institute. He was a plumbing instructor with the Job Corps. So if you guys can say hello, and then if you have any questions, we can take a few.
Hi, good morning,
like-
everyone. I just want to say hi.
Okay, we have,
Good
okay.
morning.
You guys are off. You got them off mute. Okay, very good. We're going to begin with Ernie. Ernie, you've got some background with the agency already. Congratulations on your expansion into supervisor.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And then Doug, you're coming in from the Hartford Fire Department.
No, that was
Uh,
that was me.
Oh, okay, that was you. Okay, very
You
good.
could talk a little bit about yourself, Doug. So Home
Yeah.
Builders Institute.
I'm a graduate of the Connecticut Tech School system, and then I actually joined Local 777 under Frank Takata, which I completed the program in 2005. Hey Vinny, I haven't seen you in a while. And I've been doing plumbing since I started at age 16, so quite some time now. Taught with Home Builders Institute most recently, developed their plumbing program there, put students out into the field in all aspects of the plumbing trade, and I've been proud to say I've been rated a top program for several years in a row, including this current program year when I just separated and came over to DCP.
Great. And thank you for working on that program and developing that curriculum over there for them. Does anybody have any questions for either one of our gentlemen this morning?
No, but good luck and thank you, and look forward to having to work with you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And so now we have 2 supervising special investigators in the occupational enforcement unit. So Janita Hamill, who's here, Ernie will be her counterpart in that role. So thank you for the time this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Pamela
Take care.
Brown. At this time, thank you, gentlemen. Good luck out there. If you ever need anything, the boards are there for you. Feel free to reach out to your bosses if you need to get a hold of us for anything.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. This time I'd like to have Janita Hamill. We have her report. Does everybody have a copy of the report, the enforcement report this morning? Okay, we have it on the screen in case you didn't get it. If anybody has any questions in regards to any of these, let's see.
All right, Mr. Chairman, as you can see, for the time frame, May 1st, 2026 through June 30th of 2026, investigations took in 9 brand new plumbing complaints, and it closed 6. Of that 6, 3 were closed for assurances of voluntary compliance, totaling forfeitures of $7,500.
Thank you, Janita. Appreciate that. Does any board members have any questions in reference to any of these cases and resolutions this morning? Having none at this time, Janita, thank you so much for your time and efforts to appear in front of our board to answer these questions and provide that enforcement report. We thank you.
You're quite welcome. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too. All right. So at this point, I'd like to go back to the old business. We have the Yale Science Hill campus quarter 3 update. Does anybody have any questions at this point? There was no need to have the attorney representing Yale here today. Just wondering, it's an update that we had requested them to keep us in the loop with. Does anybody have any questions that should be discussed today about that report? No? Okay.
I just have one question, Chuck.
Sure.
So I read the report and I guess just I'm trying to figure out, are they on schedule? They said they would report to us, but how are we making sure that it's going the right way? I know that's really broad and doesn't sound very intelligent, but there was a lot of drilling that was going to penetrate underground at different angles. So are we just relying on them to let us know that everything's, obviously the building officials are involved in New Haven, but this is a huge infrastructure project. And I don't think that we'd be saying if it's done right. The
I'm not
well
sure.
drillers and the plumbers on here, and does this report, it looks like it's a good report of what's happening, a progress report.
Yeah,
That's
so
fine.
Melissa, I could speak a little bit on it.
Thank
So after all these wells are drilled, it's going to attach to a geothermal plant, which is going to create all the energy for the new Science Hill development at Yale. And so from this point on, we have a contractor, Harry Grazzi, which is going to take that over from this point on. And supposedly the wells have hit the depths that they need to hit. And they're going to, and all the BTUs that they assumed are going to be used are there, and they're going to have the proper energy they need. So I guess there's some areas left over that they may drill wells if the thermal plant is struggling, and they'll install some wells afterwards if needed. And those were inside the original scope. That's planned for afterwards. So to my knowledge, at this point, everything's going according to plan.
Okay, thank you.
And Melissa had a question about the building officials in New Haven. Are they involved? I know that wasn't discussed before, if the building officials are involved with the city involved in this project, or usually these guys use a third-party inspector to do the inspections or work with the developer, the contractor of record for Yale. And then that third-party inspector would report back to the city. It's usually how it works, correct?
I'm not aware, Chuck, at this point,
I
who's looking at
assumed
it.
they would be involved, either a third-party inspector or the
Okay.
building official.
Yeah, usually.
But
it's the
I don't
third
know.
party. Yeah, the cities like that, a project this big, even smaller projects, they're trying to bring in third-party inspectors for the knowledge of the geothermal technologies that are going out there today. So, okay, all right. Is there any other questions anybody has? Okay,
I have one, Chuck,
yeah, shoot, Pete.
Mr. Chairman. I know back a few years ago, we gave them like an exemption, kind of like a blanket exemption. Are they keeping track of that, the exemptions and what they've got to do to, like, and I don't know, maybe you can answer it better, Jay, than Mr. Chairman can, but do they have a record going of all the exemptions? Or they didn't really need that?
We do, Pete. If you look at the document that was sent that's in your package, it has everything described. There's 3 tables there that explains everything. And what we'll do is once a year, I bring them back in. So
Okay,
this October, I will bring David and the Yale team back to answer any questions that you guys have, as far as, inspections, the drilling processes. What Jay was saying, with the contractor in there, starting the manifold systems, the building construction, the boxes inside the building. We could talk about the glycols. We could talk about all the other stuff, but right now we have an update from the 1/8 of 26 update to the 7/9 of 26 here. That's our recent update, and it talks about the number of boreholes with the exemptions. And then we talk about the geothermal distribution piping on another table as well. And in the first table, before I jump over, it does talk about, the different types of separation distances that we had talked about way back when they originally came in front of us. What's that, 2.5 years ago, when they gave their initial opening statements to the board when they wanted to proceed with the project.
okay, good. You answered my question. I appreciate that.
No, and there's a
really
map
I
there
really
too.
didn't read this full.
That's all right, Pete. Take a look. There's a map there too that further explains too. And if you go back in your previous meeting minutes, you probably can see where they're going with the project too. It's very interesting to see, really interesting how they're getting everything in the ground over there. It's an amazing responsibility and job.
I'll pay more attention to it. I've been kind of busy in this retired thing, going on.
Yeah,
busy.
I get that, Pete. I get that. Yeah, come on down the shore.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we're gonna, there was an update. We haven't really, me and Aaron Akbar, the well drill of record on our plumbing board here. We do want to keep the update on limited license discussions regarding hydrofracking for the future. I'll be having meetings with Mr. Mesner and the Commissioner of Consumer Protection here, with CJ Strand legislatively, the director for the agency here, about putting together some legislation for this coming session. So again, this is an update for the board. We'll just keep it in there until I have a chance to review everything with the commissioner and start working with the legislature for come springtime. Does anybody have any questions in regards to the hydrofracking this time? Okay, thank you, everybody. All right, so we're going to move on to ratio relief application, Homestead Fuel. Homestead Fuel Incorporated. John Messer, or you comment on what document we have in reference to that? What they're trying to do, a ratio relief?
Good morning, everybody. Is there anybody here from Homestead this morning?
Yes, there is.
All right, I would just ask that the individual from Homestead If you could identify yourself, spell your name for the board, and identify who you are with the company, and I will have him for the chairman. You could fill the board in as to what your request is.
So my name is Dale Gerber, D-A-L-E, last name Gerber, G-E-R-B-E-R. I am a partner here at Homestead and also serve as the operations manager. And the reason I'm here today is looking for apprenticeship ratio relief. I have 6 licensed plumbers, P1, P2 plumbers, and I currently have 4 registered apprentices, which obviously maxes out what I can have. I currently have 2 plumbers who are signed off to go for testing. So that will give me 8 licensed plumbers, but it won't give me any availability for another apprentice under the current ratio. So I'm asking for ratio relief so that I can add apprentices to the licensed plumbers that I have coming on.
Thank you, Mr. Gerber. And Mr. Chairman, just for acknowledgement to this, as we're well aware and as the board is engaging into the racial relief applications, now that this has been approved and put over to the department, Homestead's application is here today. Their ask is for under 8, and it could have been approved at the departmental level, but there was violations between DCP and or DOL that were identified in that application. And that's why the application is here before the board today.
Okay. And the discipline starts at line 65, is that correct? In the license status change for Homestead Fuel, I have a report here.
They do not have that in front of me. Rochelle, if we could share that, if you have that. Thank you. Yes, line 65.
So within the new law though, correct me if I'm wrong, if you are in violation, you are to be denied ratio relief. Am I correct?
That is for the board to decide, depending on what the disciplinary actions were,
Yeah,
what led to the investigation.
I think we need a little more information on that, John. It just says engaging in unethical conduct. What is that? What is a description of that? Could maybe the employer wants to give us a description of what the unethical conduct was that he was in?
Yeah, if I could do that, I'd appreciate that.
We'd love to hear. Yeah.
The situation was we had an emergency water heater replacement. So we went out and did the water heater replacement on an emergency basis. And the permit was not pulled within I forget the time frame. It was a day and a half, 24 hours, 48 hours, whatever the amount of time that is allowed to pass. It was outside of that. And then along with that, the customer called in with a complaint to the Department of Labor. So they picked up on the fact that we didn't get the permit pulled in a timely fashion, and we had the customer complaint. That's what the infraction was. And we took care of we pulled the permit, we had the inspection, we paid the fine. And at this point, that's all, to my knowledge, is all settled.
How long ago was that, Dale? Exactly past 3
It was-
years, day, or
yes.
under 3 years?
It was under 3 years. It was like within the last 8 months, maybe.
Okay.
I may be off on that, but it was definitely within the last year.
You took out the permit and you got it inspected. Usually it's, in a case of an emergency, we all know it. I believe it's in the code. It's in our standards here in Connecticut. We're allowed you're not gonna get a permit on a Saturday night for an emergency
Right.
water heater. It's usually the next business day at the town hall when it's required of the city to take out a permit. So,
Right.
How many
Yeah, and
days
that-
was it? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I would say it probably was like a week went by. Unfortunately, in our office, being things, it wasn't put on the top of the priority list. It just didn't happen as quickly as it should have.
Were you
and then
notified
on-
by an agency, whether it's Department of Labor or Department of Consumer Protection, that this permit was not filed in a orderly? Why did you take out the permit within that week time or in that week? What?
Well, it's, yeah, so the situation was, we did the installation and the customer had a complained, not to us, well, I shouldn't say not to us, but they complained to, I say, the Department of Consumer Protection, they complained to about either, I forget if it was the work or it was the workmanship, whatever it was, they complained directly to, I believe, Consumer Protection. So Consumer Protection dug into it and saw that we hadn't pulled the permit within the legitimate time frame, which I admit we didn't.
All right,
And
Dale. All right.
so then,
Okay.
therefore, they issued a fine and so forth.
Okay. All right. John Messer, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Is Ernie still on the call? Ernie?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Mr. Chair, if you don't mind, so part of the workflow processes on our side before we put an application before a board for racial relief is I do have Ernie do background investigations into the company from an enforcement review. So if it helps give the board clarity, I'll have Ernie give some background on the enforcement side. Ernie, I'm gonna kick it to you, please.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no problem. After looking into the complaint, I believe that it was unsubstantiated because it was a customer mediation resolution. Customer was very satisfied with the completion of the complaint. They did receive a past inspection, and they did receive other refunds to the equipment. The inspector involved did a great job mediating that between the contractor and the homeowner. After I investigated the complaint while reviewing the racial relief file.
So just so I don't have to hold Ernie on, I don't know if any board members have any questions. It is a closed complaint, so Ernie can make a comment if the board has any questions for Ernie on the enforcement side.
I think you cleared that up.
Hmm.
I do have I have a question. So you're requesting, you have 6 licenses on board right now, and you have currently 4 apprentices, correct?
That's correct.
And you're requesting 4 more apprentices, but you have 2 that have not taken the test yet and passed?
I have 2 that have been, I'll say, signed off of the apprenticeship program that are in the queue, working their
Okay.
way through the testing process.
Okay,
And what I would like to have the flexibility of up to 8 apprentices for 8 licenses. Obviously, if
Right,
we
well,
don't
right
have
now,
enough
but
licenses.
but unfortunately, right now, you don't have the 8 licenses, right? 2 of them do
Correct.
not have a license.
Correct. I would have 8 once they pass.
So I think what you honestly need to do is come back and reapply when they finally take the test. Because they technically don't have the license as of yet.
Right, they do not. That is correct.
So you're gonna be completely out of ratio. If we approve this, you're gonna be way out of ratio, and we're gonna give you an exception to go out of ratio at this point. I think,
Well, would it be, I guess.
I think you
so
need to
I
have
under-
them pass the test. I mean, if you said to me today, you have the 8 license and you were looking for the 4 apprentices, and I get it with the residential stuff, you need a couple guys in a vehicle.
Yep.
I wholeheartedly understand that and I feel for you. But I think once those 2 take the test, I personally think you should come back and apply for it again. And I think you would have no issues getting that ratio relief.
I agree with that, Jay. Melissa has a question.
How far away from getting the test are they? And I know you're replying for ratio relief, which is the purpose of this, but is it Where are they in the queue as far as scheduling their test?
One is studying to take the test, so he could schedule it whenever there's an opening at this point. And the other one is probably, I'm gonna say, a couple months out.
So you want to bring on 2 more? Is what you're
Or
saying?
more,
Is it just,
or more, Melissa.
I would like the ability to take on more apprentices, equal number, so 1-to-1 ratio of licenses to apprentices. So I'm not saying, I'm not looking for more apprentices than I have licenses. So
Right.
if I was given approval for 8 apprentices, I realize that means I would need 8 licenses.
Correct, but
Which I
as
don't
as we
have.
stand today, you don't have 8 licenses.
Right. But I have 6 licenses, but
I
only
got you.
4 apprentices.
Okay, so right
So-
now, if you want, you should apply for 2 and get 2 apprentices and have 6 apprentices and 6 journeymen. And then when those other 2 guys get their licenses, then you should come back and reapply for 2 more.
Okay, can I do that, or do I need to change?
I
Paperwork
don't
or
know.
what?
Maybe Mr. Mesner can instruct us on that, because we could make a motion possibly to give you 2 if Mr. Mesner would allow that.
All right, good morning again, everybody. Just out of respect, Joe, you had your hand up. Do you want me to answer first, or do you want to go before me, Joe?
Still muted, Joe.
Yeah, if you don't mind, Mr. Mesner, I guess my question would be directed to you. That bill that was passed last year, 1465 Senate bill, that changed the rules to go to 8 to 8 for apprentice to journeyman. Where does it change? Where does the line come in that they have to apply for that? Or is that just a Department of Consumer Protection decision by your office, I would assume?
So this is 2 parts. So there was 2 parts to the passage of that bill. The first being the ask of up to 8 can be approved by the department. Any ask greater than 8 goes before the board. Again, the only reason why Homestead is here today is because their application indicated a disciplinary action. And
Mhm.
whenever there's discipline involved, regardless of the ask, and under or over, it comes before the board, so the board can review it. Going back to Mr. Moore's inquiry there, we can, again, the application's here today. If the board has determined that the disciplinary action against the company has no bearing on the racial relief applications being approved up to 8, yes, the board can make a motion to approve the 2 that he's asking for today. And if so approved, obviously we can make the changes on our side. Additionally, I would ask if the board does not feel the disciplinary action has any weight against the decision, if the board wants to make a second motion, if they felt it was just, that the department can approve Homestead's application pending any additional new disciplinary actions by DCP and or DOL. If when Mr. Gerber's employees do become licensed, if they have the demand and they have the applicants that are ready to fulfill those positions, he could then come back and ask for the up to 8, and the department could approve without having to bring this back before the board on this particular application.
So at this point, he has 6 journeymen, 4 apprentices. So the question here is that the disciplinary issue is not an issue to prevent him from getting the 2 more apprentices that he's seeking.
That's for the board to decide. The department can't make that decision. If the board felt it was not a licensing, it was not an apprenticeship or on a ratio matter. So again, in my opinion, it doesn't have any bearing on the apprenticeship racial relief application. But again, there is no differentiation within the law. It was any discipline by DCP or DOL came before the board.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, Joe? All right, John, was there anything else you wanted to add for Dale Gerber's request here? Or are we pretty well ready to make a decision?
Not on my end, but I will acknowledge that Vinny does have his hand up, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Vinny, yes, please.
Mr. Gerber, good morning.
Good morning.
You're based out of Ellington?
That's correct.
Okay, have you ever looked at picking up a pre-apprentice from, you're not too close to any VOTEC, say, you got Prince and Norwich. You look that way? I see you shaking your head, yes, yeah.
Yes, we have done that in the past and employed pre-apprentices more on the HVAC side because Cheney Tech is so close, right, in Manchester.
Okay,
And
yeah.
Cheney Tech does not offer the plumbing program. But yes, we would be open to it. Unfortunately, we're a fair distance. So for a young person to travel to us can get fairly daunting.
Well, the schools
On the
are
plumbing.
regional. The schools are
Yeah.
regional, so they may or may, I mean, I would say when the fall comes up, a call over to Manchester, or even Prince, you might have a kid that's coming from your area.
Yeah.
The ratio's a little more forgiving if you have a pre-apprentice, you know?
Mhm,
And
mhm, yep.
my concern with ratio and the 1-to-1 is just making sure the kids are supervised. Maybe the journeyman's out that day, so you put the kid in the shop so you keep an eye on him. And to the board, I believe the complaint was handled. You get bumps in the road, I see no issue with it, that piece. But I would encourage looking at the pre-apprenticeship. It's a bit of a lift, but you get access to some good kids that are setting goals and trying to achieve them, and I think they'd be assets to you.
Yeah, agreed.
Great advice, Vinny. Okay, moving forward here, how does the board feel? Do we have to do this a separate vote in regards to the violation? We want to vote and get that out of the way first, and then allow. Hopefully, the thing is, my question too is, he's got two guys ready to take the test, but how about if one guy drags his feet on it? You got one guy that's ready to rock and roll, goes down, takes a pre-class, goes in, takes the test and aces it. And you got another guy that's going to drag his feet for months and years on end. We see this so often, they get approved and then they don't go do it. They they need a little help, if you know what I mean,
Yeah.
to get through.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, but yeah, that's not, that can't be factored in. You've been in a professional path. You got to take your exam. If they fail to do that, they're neither registered nor licensed. They can't work legally. So there's a grace period given after the apprenticeship is complete to get that license. I'm sure that they're capable of doing it. They just got to do it. So I would limit the discussion to whether we feel that the complaint is a knockout, and I don't. But I think that's the board's decision, not, some of these
Right.
other peripheral things, because I don't think we want to bite into them.
Yeah. Jay, you have a question too?
Yeah, I do. Well, I just, he has two people ready to take the test. They're not licensed. We can't give him an apprentice on the unlicensed people. He has 6. He's eligible for 6. That's the end of the conversation from there. When those two get a license, they could drag their feet, they can do whatever they want, but as his employer, he should push them along to go take that test. And when those two continue on and get their P2, then he could come back and apply for 2 more. I don't see a problem with the violation with the DCP. It's cleaned up, it's taken care of, it has no bearing on apprenticeship. So I would make I mean, if we do it 2 separately, I'll make a motion to, I don't know how to say it, but overlook or bypass the violation and allow him for ratio relief, if that's the proper way to make that motion. And then I would make a second motion. I would make a second motion to allow him for 2 apprentices to match with his 6 journeymen. And then, I don't know if it would be a third motion, but when his next 2 apprentices or journeymen pass and get their license, to allow him to proceed and on to the next 2. If that makes
I'd
sense on
second
what I
all
said.
3.
Very good. We have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion with the board in reference to those 3 comments? Motions? Having none?
Is
Oh,
it
I'm sorry.
is it necessary if the board has no qualms with the complaint, then the 6 seem to be procedural. I don't think you need to make a decision about that. And then
Well, he
if you
had a
want 8, you
violation
need 8
first, though, Vin.
licenses. What's that?
He had the violation, so it is.
Right, I think that it matters before the board to review the violation and the weight of it. And once you decide that, there's no need for a motion after that because he becomes eligible for the other 2 apprentices. And when the other 2 kids pass their test, he gets the other 2. I don't,
The law states when he has the violation, he has to apply, Vin. He has to come to the board when he has a violation.
So
Right,
the
do we-
the
do we
question right
weigh
now
in?
is to override that, that discipline. That's one issue, isn't it? The only issue?
That was the first motion that Jay made. And the second was to move forward after that.
Do
I
we,
see what
but
Jay's
once
saying.
once that is taken away, that's taken off the table, do we need that other motion?
Could you restate the motion?
I think it should, because that is the law. If he's in violation of DCP, that is the law, and we should not sit here and change the law. The law is if you have a violation, you have to come in front of the board, okay? And then the board has the power to look beyond that and give him the apprentice ratio relief that he's seeking. So today he did the proper thing. He came in front of the board. We're going to look past that, and we're going to give him the ratio relief that's legally acceptable today, right? And then once that's acceptable, he can go back and apply to the DCP for 2 more, and he won't have to sit in front of the board.
And we don't meet till the end of October, and I don't want to hold these kids up getting their licenses and making more money once they pass these exams. They get hopefully good promotions within the company, and we want to get these kids going. And that's a good push for Dale to get his guys to pass this exam sooner than later for themselves, and allow him to continue on with his business and keep moving his apprentices further, like we want to see here in Connecticut.
That's the goal.
Regardless of the violation, right, Jay? It doesn't matter.
No, I mean, not regardless. What do you mean regardless of the violation, Aaron?
A violation such as this, something procedural like that.
Yeah, I mean, okay, he didn't get the permit. I get
Nothing
it.
egregious.
No, he did not violate ratio relief. He didn't exploit workers. He didn't have people working on license. He didn't not have people registered and caught in that aspect. That changes everything. That's a game changer. He had an emergency on a Saturday, changed the water heater. They didn't get down to the town hall in a timely manner. Sometimes you get crispy homeowners, and we all know that, right? You get crunchy people or angry or whatever, and things happen. He rectified it, he took care of it. We can look past that. But as the board, I think we need to give him the 2 to stay within the legal law limits. And then he can come back and apply for 2 more. And even though he has this on his record for 3 years, he may have to come in front again, because that's what the law says. Once
Okay.
the 3 years pass, he may not have to come in front of the board again, but at the moment, he has a violation on his record for the 3 years. That's the law that was passed. That's the law we need to stick to.
I gotta read that. Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, is there any further discussion? We'll stay with the first, second, and third motion all in one. All in favor, say aye.
Please don't make 3 line items. Just bundle it into one motion.
Okay,
I don't think we can vote on 3 things in one shot.
okay. All right, then we can fold them all into one, 3 items, and vote on that one item then. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Noes? Abstentions? Passes. Thank you. Good luck, Dale.
Thank you. So from
Can you
here,
recap it for Mr. Gerber so he understands the process going forward? Because
I can
He's-
take that
he's-
one, Vinny and
Yeah,
Mr.
thank
Chair, if
you.
you don't mind. Yeah, first off, Mr. Gerber, congratulations. Second off,
Thank
you know, give us a few days to get it updated and get the information over to DOL. Please don't contact DOL today. It's going to take us a few days to get the information over to DOL. With that being said, pending the way that I understand the motion, pending that you have no new disciplinary action with DCP and or DOL, you could apply for the 2 that you currently have because they're under 8. So you have 6 licensees, you have 4 apprentices, you could put 2 in. The 2 will be approved the way the motion was put. Pending any new additional disciplinary action, please disclose that in a new application. We'll go through the process again. But based upon the board's motion and acceptance of that motion today, you do not have to appear before the board. When you get the additional person licensed, you could ask for 1. When you get the second person licensed, you could ask for another 1. And that will get you up to 8. You don't have to lump it in 2s. The purpose of this process with racial relief is it's not an open checkbook. You should be applying based upon need and demand. So again, if you have the applications coming in for apprentices and you have an immediate fill for that open position, by all means put in for it so you get it, and then process from there. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to the department. We're happy to answer any questions.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dale. Thank you for appearing today.
Yes, thank you for your work and have a good day.
Appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Okay, we have someone appearing, John Torriello, Torrielli. Mr. Torrielli will appear for guidance regarding the requirements and procedures for obtaining a P6 and a P7 license. Do we have Mr. Torrielli here this morning?
Yes, sir. Good morning, Mr. Chair and members. How are you? John Torrielli here.
Hi, John. Good morning. You want to share with us why you're in front of our board today, please?
Yes, sir. I just want to know I have Mary Andrew Check with me as well. She's also on as well, and she's going to kind of open up if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you.
Could you introduce yourself to the board and your position with the company?
Certainly. My name is Mary Andrzejczyk. I work with Penna Construction. I oversee HR and various safety programs within the company. So first, I want to thank you all for taking the time to meet with us today. Our ultimate goal, first, let me say Penna Construction is a non-union company. We specialize in underground water main infrastructure. And today our goal is really to seek guidance and practical solutions that recognize experience, extensive training, while maintaining the integrity of Connecticut's licensing processes. We run into some obstacles because we do not have an official approved apprenticeship program. So really today we have 2 objectives. Our first objective is to help John Torrielli obtain his P6 license. John has over 25 years of infrastructure, be it gas, electric, water, infrastructure experience, and we have encountered significant obstacles, and it really all pertains to not fulfilling the requirements of the apprenticeship program. John, first, I'll let you step in and to talk a little bit about yourself and your experience.
Sure. Thank you, Mary. Thank you. And again, my name is John Torrielli. I'm the general manager at Penna Construction. I've been working here for the last 8 years. And for Vincent Penna, who is a licensed plumber, and I've been working under his guidance and direction. During my 30+ years of working in the underground utility business, since I'm 19, I've worked, both in the, New York, metropolitan New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut on, gas, water main installations, storm, sewer, mostly roadways. And at this point, for the last several years, I'm running the operations here at Penna Construction, the day-to-day operations. As I said, I'm the general manager. And it's ultimate importance that the ownership is getting on in close to retirement age, and there needs basically a succession plan. So with that, I was tasked to get a P7 license. We've gone on the website and followed all of the necessary guidance in terms of the necessary courses that were required and trainings that required the time to work, with a licensed plumber, and we sent that information in, for your review, of course. And ultimately, I'm here before you requesting permission or, to be able to sit, for the exam.
Right.
So that
And
I
John,
can
let me
give-
jump in if you don't
ensure-
mind.
Go ahead, Mary.
Oh, thank you. And like John had mentioned, although we've been working to help John obtain his P6 license, our ultimate objective is really qualifying him for a P7 license with a waiver of the 2-year requirement. But in order to even sort of open to that, we really have encountered some obstacles about the P6 licensing. So John has, like he had mentioned, he has the background, the training, he's passed the exam. The only obstacle for him that we've encountered was
Sorry,
this apprenticeship.
Mary, excuse me. This is
Yes.
Chuck.
Yes.
What test did he pass? I'm sorry, you just said he passed the test.
John, did you?
It was the classroom training requirements. So the 180 hours of classroom training, we submitted, all of the exams that were associated with that classroom training.
Did you go to school for hours of
Yes.
class-related instruction to the Connecticut requirements?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So let
we
me
have
just
a
back
copy
up
of
for a
that?
moment,
A copy of
because
that?
some of the, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but some of the requirements, I think this is where the sort of the obstacle is. Some of the requirements stated, well, we were given the guidance to go back to New Jersey and New York to obtain documentation stating that, like giving some sort of guidance so that it could collectively qualify him for meeting the training objectives or the training objectives in lieu of the apprenticeship program. And so I went out, I contacted every possible department within New York and New Jersey. And despite extreme outreach, there was no department that oversees such licensing requirements. So although he meets some of the requirements, we're unable to get over that hurdle.
But as far as the classroom, I think the question was, as far as the classroom, I did do the Penn Foster, the only online approved version of the classroom training, which I did complete and submit my transcripts. And that was with the classes and the tests that I think that we're referring to.
Can I ask one quick question here? I want to put this out there. So I'm going through the emails that were provided. You this started back in 2023 to try and get the license. You were instructed what to do in 2023 about putting him on an apprenticeship for the P6. It's now 2026. Why didn't you take the information you were given in 2023, follow it, and then right now you would already be sitting for your P7 without sitting here and have to explaining yourself? Can you tell me why you didn't do that?
So when you say to go out to the apprenticeship program,
Yes,
right?
he should get all your people should be read. Anybody working at that company that's installing underground utilities should be a licensed journeyman or a registered apprentice. So here in the emails I'm reading, you asked the same question you're asking today, and you were instructed what to do, right? You should get your P6, and in 2 years, you'd be able to sit for the P7, which would be the contractor's license. You didn't take the information you were given on January 17th, 2023, right? You didn't follow that information. It's now 2026, and you're back asking the same question you asked in 2023. Can you tell me why you didn't follow the instructions you were given in 2023?
I'm not sure what the instruction was in terms of.
You have emails back and forth, and I believe this is you, Mrs. Andrachek.
Yes.
Yeah, you have correspondence with Mr. Mesner about how to obtain the licenses, on what to do. You were given the information. You were given the information on how to obtain the P6, and then how to obtain the P7, and that was over 3 years ago. It's now 3 years later. You didn't follow the instructions you were given to get the P6. 3 years later, you're sitting here asking the same question. My question to you is why you didn't follow the information you were given in 2023 to get the license you're asking for today.
Well,
Can you tell me that why?
Yes, Jay. So as as you follow the email chains throughout the last several years, we've been in contact with the state trying to satisfy those different requirements. The requirements look like they're specifically outlined for union-based companies, right?
100% not. That's not a
Okay,
true
this-
statement.
So
The
that's
state-
my,
in the state of Connecticut, in the state of Connecticut, we have a registered apprenticeship. In order to obtain a journeyman's license, you must be a registered apprentice in the state of Connecticut. Once you fulfill your obligation as a registered apprentice, you may sit for a journeyman test, which would be the P6 you need first before you get a P7. Once you obtain the P6, you must hold that license for 2 years. Then you're eligible to sit for the contractor's license, which is what you are asking for today.
Mhm.
In 2023, you were provided the information, and it's very simple. The last person was here. They have people registered, right? They're getting ratio relief. There's everything. There's no hurdles. It's not union, non-union. It's the state of Connecticut licensing, okay? And you were given the information on how to obtain the license you are looking for. You chose, or I don't know why, you didn't follow the directions you were given, and we're here today, 3 years later, asking for the same thing. Had you followed the directions you were given in 2023, you would be sitting where you want to be with your contractor's license today, not sitting here in front of the board. Can you tell me why you didn't follow the directions you were given in 2023 and are here today?
Well, I don't think it's so easy as not following the directions. I think there was a lot of just discrepancy and misinformation. Maybe it was our interpretation of what the email stated, but there was, as far as my concern is, there was nothing specifically outlined for the steps because it kept asking us for other things in
Can
lieu
I
of.
ask, can I ask a question? So how many licensed people work at your company now?
We have 4.
And how many registered apprentices do you have?
We don't have any.
Okay, so you only have 4 people installing underground utilities at your company?
No, that is not correct.
How many employees do you have installing underground utilities?
For the water main, there's about 6 of them.
Okay, so the 2 people installing the water mains aren't registered apprentices nor licensed?
Correct.
You're in violation. You're in violation of the law of the state of Connecticut.
Who's the contractor of record for Penna Construction? Who is who's the name of the company that has the license holder of the company at this time and the license type?
That would be Vincent Penna, and he has a P7.
And that's an active P7 license?
Yes.
Yes.
Aaron has a question. Go ahead, Aaron.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jay asked my question. That was all I was gonna ask was who was installing, as I'm aware of Penna, and you got plenty of work going on down here. And who was on site that was licensed. So I will retract my hand.
So may I ask you to why we're here? And it was, part of it was really about me getting a license, and I'm just, you know, we've kind of gotten off topic a little bit. So
Well, not
what-
really. I'm gonna
Okay.
be honest with you. I mean,
Oh.
you've just opened up yourself to a whole can of worms by telling the entire board you have people doing the work unlicensed or unregistered.
I don't know that we have people, the people that are licensed on the job that are doing it, yes, we have licensed people on the job. But my question again is, what is it that what criteria am I not meeting, I guess is my question, or, because we talked about the equivalent, you know, I've done, like I said, I've looked at the website, and basically they said that, you know, equivalent training, you have, you know, necessary classroom hours, which I've done, which substantiated the, you know, my tenure of working in this business for, you know, in this utility business for over 30 years. And I've done the necessary classroom training, which I understand is a requirement. I've fulfilled those obligations, so that's why I'm here before you guys asking, to be able to sit and take the test at this point.
John, you should have been back in 23. Does your company, maybe this is a question for Mary, do you guys have an apprenticeship program with the Department of Labor where John back in 23 could have simply been add his name to the list while he was taking all those classes through Penn Foster? Why wasn't he registered for those 2 years to collect his time? We wouldn't be sitting here today, like Jay Moore had said earlier. He'd be going for his, might already, well, he'd be going for his P7 or already have it. So that's our problem here. He was never registered while he's taking the classes. You guys have a bona fide apprenticeship program with the Department of Labor at this time?
No, we do not.
Okay.
You're doing your employees a grave disservice by not having them registering their time. They're getting set back every minute that they're working on your jobs improperly registered.
They're also a
delaying them.
violation of the law, Aaron.
Yeah, and it's a violation of the law. But that too. Is Vinny still active? Is he out and about and in the office?
Yes, he is.
Mhm.
I don't know if there's anything we can do at this point unless send it over to enforcement at this time.
I'll make a motion. I'm gonna make a motion to deny the license and have enforcement look into Penna Construction.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion? Any further discussion on that? Having none, all in favor of sending Penna Construction over to enforcement? Say aye.
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 Denial? Abstention? So moved. Okay. All right, at this time, Mary, John, I'll have Mr. Mesner explain the next process to you through the agency as to where this goes. John, if you have a free moment there.
Yeah, no problem. So John, at this time, and again, you were here before the board today for guidance. Oh, for the camera not being on. You were here before the board today for guidance. The guidance does not review the open application that you have. Your application currently is incomplete and remains incomplete. I'd highly advise, as the board has indicated today, that you should be, for the 4 licensees that you have, and the 1 contract of record that you have, would enable you to start an apprenticeship program immediately and get the individuals that are engaging illegally in the state of Connecticut in a properly registered apprenticeship program, potentially even in including yourself, so that you could work towards properly securing that license. Just for clarity to your comment on equivalent experience, Connecticut is an apprenticeship state. It does not review open shop and organized labor. It's a apprenticeship state, meaning that everybody in the occupational world, there's no such thing as helpers or laborers, shall be engaging within a properly registered apprenticeship program. The P6, P7 requires such. It's stated in a work schedule with the Department of Labor. So that takes care of your open application. The department's advice to you to, again, as indicated back in 2023, get into a registered apprenticeship program and get the required on-the-job training hours that are needed. Additionally, as the board has made a motion and approved, there will be an enforcement action taken against the company. So that will be an open case. It will be forwarded over to the occupational enforcement unit. And you just probably be expected to hear from one of the occupational inspectors that will be looking into the business practices of your company.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mary and John, for attending today's meeting. Okay. We have, next up is Robert Mai, M-E-I. He's going to be appearing in front of us today for guidance requiring procedures for obtaining his P2 license. And we have some information there as well from him. Is Mr. Mai here today?
I am. Good morning.
Morning. You want
How are you
to,
guys?
good, yeah, you want to explain what you're here for today, Rob?
Yeah, so I'm just a little backstory if you guys don't mind. If I get too long, you can cut me off. But I work for my father, Brookfield Plumbing and Heating, is an S1P1. I graduated Abitech in 2004. So a little backstory is I went to Brookfield High School before. In 2002, he pulled me out of Brookfield High School to go to Abitech. Abitech had a post-grad system. So if I went in as a junior, senior, I would have to do 4 or 5 months after just shop to complete my trades training. As stupid as I was young, I left. I wanted to be an automotive tech. So I never got my diploma for Abbott. I got my diploma, but I didn't get the trades training diploma from Abitech. So I've been pretty much just, a registered apprentice for the last, I've been working since 2005. I think it was 2005. After I left automotive, I came back. And I'm looking for forgiveness on just one class, mechanical code that's not offered right now. I've been in contact with Joe McGee at IMTI. Henry Abitech is not offering anything. That's pretty much it.
Rob, let me stop you real quick. Just quick question. What are you registered for in the state apprenticeship program with your father? What is your current status? What license? You're looking for mechanical code. That's over in the heating side. Why mechanical if you're a plumber? Are you registered as a plumber or mechanical? Which one are you?
So it's a little confusing. Right now, I believe I'm registered as an S4 in my heating. So I've also been taking Penn Foster. I'm about 3/4 of the way through on my S4 license. I have finished my apprentice hours for the P license, but when Owen gave me, and this was back in 2023, he gave me a list of class criterias that I needed to complete to take my test. And mechanical code was on one of them, which I didn't understand either because my brother's also a licensed mechanic, or he is a licensed mechanic, and he didn't have to take that. So I was wondering why that was, put on there to take, but everything else that he has asked for, I've taken through Penn Foster with Chris Whitehair. The classes that he.
Mechanical is a different board than the plumbing board. So were you ever registered as a plumber at all?
Yes. Oh yeah. Yep.
The P2. Okay. And where are all your classes that you completed out on that?
So
plumbing classes.
So this is where it gets, kind of confusing too, so I have 2 years at Henry Abitech that they're giving me credit for. And I also took classes at Penn Foster.
Okay. So I see the Penn Foster ones here. Is there approximately 2, 4, 6 of those, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. And at Abitech, where is your transcript from the state trade school for?
I saw it somewhere.
Okay, I see it. Okay.
It's small. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you see Q1 and Q2, that's when I went to Brookfield High School, and then junior and senior years when I got transferred to Abitech.
So plumbing theory, you didn't pass that. Plumbing trade, you got a 68. Blueprint rating a 68. Marks final. Plumbing theory, you got a 65. What are your what do you have to pass with? A 70, a 68? Vinny, do you know what the classroom passage is for trades in a state trade school? Or John Mesner's got his hand up. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll say no. Maybe one of the VOTEC teachers knows better, but I'm going to imagine 70% for a C. Not sure.
More, Mr. Chair, and I will call on Mr. Pember or Mr. Pilecki to correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe a pass will be anything greater than a 60 at the tech school. We do achieve 2 have those students pass minimally with a 70 or greater. But I think the tech school system would acknowledge the fact that a pass is anything greater than a 60. But I also just want to disclose, so Robbie May has contacted the department and he's here before the board today for guidance as a conversation that we have had. Robbie, correct me if I'm wrong, just because I'm not in that screen. You did not file an application to date for your P2, correct?
Correct. No, I was
Okay.
I was going to appear for the board before I applied.
Thank you for listening to that guidance. So with that said, I have a conversation and I'm just want to direct this, but Robbie, I need you to state this to the board because again, I'm just repeating what I recall from our conversations. So Robbie attended the tech school system, was enrolled within a P2 apprenticeship, completed the on-the-job training requirements for the P2 apprenticeship, and all but one class, which is the IMC class, which is a requirement for the P2 license, as it states in the approved courses for the P2 curriculum. So he is pending completion of this one class. When he had contacted me, he was having trouble scheduling this one class, but he's essentially one class away from getting that completion letter. The ironic thing is he's currently registered as an S4 apprentice because again, right now he's completed his P2 on the job training. So he's no longer a P2 apprentice. He needs that same IMC class to complete his S4. So essentially his looking for approval from this board today would be to be approved for a P2 license based upon the documentation substantiating he has all his classwork but that one course and the on-the-job training completion. But then he has to take that class regardless for the S4. And again, Robbie, please correct me if I'm wrong. I just want to set that stage for the board so the board could continue to ask you questions. But essentially, he's going through his S4 apprenticeship now as a properly registered apprentice. He's just looking for the board to potentially overlook that one course as he needs to complete it for his S4 apprenticeship as well.
Yeah, correct. That's way better than how I said it. Thank you. Yeah, I am currently, so I'm registered as an S4. I still have to take the class. As soon as Joe McGee, the class opens up, I'm going to be right on it because I have to take it to get my S4. But yeah, exactly what John said.
Rob, how many years have you been in an apprenticeship program for the multi-level?
Probably Connecticut's longest apprentice. I've been working consistently since 2005 under my father's supervision, and currently I'm with my brother.
Okay. Basically, you're asking us when it comes time, get your application for your P2. We need to see if this board will allow you today to not have to take the IMC class. That's what basically you're asking for today, so you can move forward with this. And then when you go to finish your S4 up, you'll be able to get that that class in over there and complete that out, so you can go for your proper heating credential. Again, different board, but today, how does the board feel?
I feel like he's at 20 odd years to take this class, and I don't understand why it's not been done. So I'm not feeling it. Been doing this business for 2 decades. The schools have been open. I don't understand why it hasn't been done.
So a little backstory is I also have 3 kids. But this course, I don't know how long this course has been offered for, but back when kind of, I've been very hard-headed, 2010, 2011, when I went to the Department of Labor and they told me, I had to do all 4 years of night school again. And at that time, it just wasn't an option. I was struggling as it was, just trying to work to stay afloat. So this all got pushed back in my stupidity, 100%. I take 100% accountability for it. It could have been done. If it was offered by Penn Foster, it would have been done. It's just not right now. And, I kind of been bouncing back between the heating, which right now want to just get one license, which is why I'm focusing on the P. I am still taking the S4 on Penn Foster, but you know, I just want to get the P license now under my belt.
Have you looked in anywhere besides Penn Foster, like the Connecticut Construction Institute or anything else, or other places for this class?
I have Connecticut Institute. I don't think they offer an online class.
Is Melissa still on board? Is she still on, or did she get off? Because she runs the Connecticut Construction Institute.
Yeah, she's off.
Oh, she's off.
Yeah, she jumped. She jumped.
Yeah, you know, unfortunately, if you're just looking for strictly online, I mean, you may have to get up and go to the class. I mean, you know, everyone else that gets a P2 sits and takes all the classes, buddy. You know what I mean? I feel for you. I have kids, but I did it. I went to nights and I went to school, and I think everyone on here that has a license struggled and did the same thing to get the license. I mean, like Vinny stated, you had 20 years to work on it. We were all young, hard-headed at one point in time, but it doesn't constitute giving somebody a pass on a requirement. So that's my recommendation. You go take that class and then you'll be eligible to take the test. Whether you got to go take it physically, online, look elsewhere other than Penn Foster. Look at the state of Connecticut. They have post-grad classes. There's all sorts of options besides Penn Foster. So I think you can find that class if you put the work into it, and going to take the class is what you need to do.
Yeah, so the closest.
Waterbury.
Okay, some of them, sorry, Aaron, I'll make it real quick. Some of them classes are online, but you'd have to go to New Haven, right? Not necessarily to close school to Waterbury, IMTI, the CECs, but they do offer, and I noticed this summer, they were offering classes during the summer months for people. Because I was even telling young people to go register for those classes and go online or in person if they're available to you to start your apprenticeship early or to get things done quicker for yourself down the road. Did you try to look at any of the local trade schools that offer night division, but then have a summer program as well for the IMC?
So yes, I have. Abitech is probably the closest one right now that I know of. I mean, I can reach out to, I think, is it Gainer Tech in Waterbury? I didn't reach out to them. Abitech has not offered too much around here.
Eli
right now
Whitney
for
is
nights.
another great school too. Eli Whitney, my son had to travel 40 minutes, 50 minutes just to get a class out of the way too. And he just so happened to be, thank God, that class happened to be online. So he would have to take that class every once in a while, but he was able to do it online. So when he had to go in for his test, certain nights he was required to go in. So take that as a consideration too coming up, because I think classes will start to be registered for the fall semester coming up pretty shortly at night for yourself. If you want to look at different schools outside the window, they might have the online for you.
Okay. Yeah, like you know, I'm still taking the class. I'm just here before the board just to ask so if I could just take my P2 now. I still have to take the class. I'm still, you know, it's required by the S4, so I still have to take the class. I'm just looking for forgiveness on just one class, just to start the process of getting my license so that I can get my P1. You know, that way when my father does retire, you know, I can have all the requirements.
Go hunt that class down, take it, and then you won't have to take it for the S license. You'll already have it. So,
yep.
You know what I mean? You'll kill two birds with one stone if you go take the class now versus sitting here asking for forgiveness.
Absolutely.
Just go take the class.
It should be coming up in Waterbury. And besides, Big Bobby's not going to retire. He can't.
Yeah, he's planning on it. So.
Well, Rob, thanks for coming in for guidance. I hope we helped you out and get that one class because you're going to need it anyhow. So
okay.
Before you register for the fall, make sure you get that IMC squared away for yourself.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for coming in.
Good luck, Rob.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
We have a second to go through them. I'm just gonna all set. I think we got everything. Does anybody see anything we're missing today?
Mr. Chair, I have a new business item if the board's wrapped up.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead, John? It'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, good morning again, everybody. So, recently in the last legislative session, we added petroleum tanks and piping to the definition of the plumbing and piping definition within 2330 of the Connecticut General Statutes, within 393, around the fact that the Plumbing and Piping Board oversees the P8 and P9 license. With that being said, Mr. Moore's been helpful. There was some discrepancies going on between some scopes of work that fall within the P8, P9 contractors and some cross-regulation between DEEP that Mr. Moore has been at the forefront of these conversations through the chair to assist. With that all being said, S1s, S2s, S3s, S4s include petroleum tanks. Petroleum tanks being fuel for heating systems. That's the legislative intent of the petroleum tanks, not for gasoline stations as it's defined within the P8, P9 license, and also the legislative intent behind that credential. That being said, reviewing the S1, S2, S3, S4, the petroleum tanks and piping affiliated with such is very much so alike the USTs covered within the P8, P9 license. We have had some inquiries on S1s and S2s seeking to do that. My ask of the board is, would the board approve an S1, S2, S3, S4 for the P8, P9 with the one exception of reviewing the coursework that they had to complete? Currently, right now, the course number is 0749, and it's gasoline piping that is offered the technical high school system and some other institutions as well. It's one course, 136-hour course that would make the S1, S2, S3, S4 eligible for licensure. And if the board felt as such, if the board would specify if an S1 could go right for the P9 contractor, or an S3, I'm sorry, and the S2, S4 be eligible for the P8 contractor. That's my ask. I'm open to any questions the board might have on this.
Did you say P8, P9 go for the contractor?
So that an S1, S3, because they're already holding a contractor license, if they completed that one class, would be eligible to go right for the P9 because they're already a contractor. And the S2, S4, because they're journey persons, be eligible for the P8. In other words, not having an S1 have to go for the P8 and then have to hold it for 2 years.
And we all know that the S1, S2 is a unlimited license category. So adding a A-0749 class at 36 hours for this, just since he's already unlimited over here, it brings that, allows him to take the, especially the S1, be allowed him to take the P8 contractor.
P9.
P9 contractor, okay.
I'm good with it. I'll make the motion that S1, S3 be eligible to take the contractor P9, and S2 and S4 be eligible to take the P8. Contingent, they take course 0749, make them eligible to sit for the test.
Second.
Very good. We have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion with any of the other members of the board this morning? Okay, all in favor for this, say aye.
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 Denials? Abstentions? So moved.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeff, for bringing it up, and thank you, Jay, for the work behind getting this done.
Absolutely.
Jay, you have to leave us, I believe.
I do. I got to jump, unfortunately. So everybody, it was good to see you and enjoy the weekend, and we'll see you at the next meeting. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Enjoy the rest of your summer, Jay.
Thanks, Chuck.
So long.
Okay. I believe we have everything. Took care of Yale, right? That's all set. We'll bring Yale in, just, you know, FYI again, we'll bring them in the fall. It's the annual trip. They'll come to the, answer any questions that we have, give us an update, which we'd all be interested in anyhow, as we move forward. It's a big project. We have a
Mr. Chair,
motion.
would you want us to try to arrange that meeting for an onsite again? So we're not out there in negative temperatures in the winter?
Yeah, because we'll probably be on the next stage. Jay's off now, but maybe Benny might know. Are they doing manifolds down there now with the loops? Are they into the manifolds yet? They fusing anything in the ground yet through the buildings?
Not aware myself. Jay's a better source for that.
Yeah. Let's do a tentative yes. Let's do a tentative yes. We had a good turnout at the last meeting. October's a better time to go. Actually, we can do it before that. Maybe we could do something in September, before the next board meeting, a visit. And then have them come give us the report, on the annual report. Or in October, November, December, January, they could give us another report for an annual in January, but we could get out there and visit the site if people want to. We need to have less than a quorum when we visit the site. John, is that the case?
No, so we can go out there with full board. We just can't discuss board matters. So we could get everybody out there that wants to attend. So if that's the board's flavor, we can definitely I can work with Rochelle and get communication back through Dave Monts, see where they're at, see if they're at manifolds and fusing piping, and just ask that sometime in September the board has the opportunity to visit prior to the next meeting where the Yale could come in and do their presentation.
That'll be great. Yeah, if you could do that, check with them, get some dates for us and get back to us, John or Rochelle, please.
Yep.
Thank you. Great. Does anybody else have any, anything under, business that they want to bring up at all? Okay, is there anything, in my meetings with the commissioner this fall? Anybody needs to bring up anything that needs to be addressed coming up for the next legislative year that we need to, work together on to accomplish for the betterment of Connecticut? Okay, that's my final remark. Good luck to Charlie. Can't wait to hear how he makes out. Benny, keep us in the loop, okay? Yeah. Yeah, we're very proud of him.
Thank you. Yeah.
Proud of him.
Nothing but
Thank
hard
you.
work now. Thank you.
Yeah. Good job, Ben. Good job. Good job, local. Take care, you guys. Have a good summer, everybody. Bye-bye now.
Have a
as
great
well.
day.
So long.
You too. Thank you.